So the first thing that I'm going to talk about is going to be the quickest thing that I'm going to talk about. They are not actually legal to own everywhere. So in specific American states you may not be allowed to have them, so on. There's building work going on in my house. It's loud. So before you even start looking into getting sugar gliders, I'd recommend making sure that they are legal where you are. The second thing that you should know is cost. Now with the cost, there is quite a lot of things to take into consideration. There are the sugar gliders themselves, which if you're getting them from a reputable breeder, they will be a little bit costly, not major. I paid £250 for my twins and that wasn't too bad. Like, it all depends on what colour you get. My two are standards. If you want morphs, then they are going to be a lot more. The next thing is the cage. So the recommended cage size is 4x2x2. I use this cage, which you can kind of see here. It is a cage from eBay. I will link it in the description, and it's only about £60 and it is good to start off with, but mine is starting to rust now and I need to replace it, and it's only been a year that it's been with me, so it's good to start off with, but I wouldn't recommend it as like a long time sort of cage because it doesn't seem very, don't think sturdy is the word, but yeah. The next price that can get costly, the toys for stimulation. Sugar gliders need a lot of stimulation. They are super active, they're really playful, so they need a lot of different toys. My cage is absolutely full of toys. They have loads of different ones and also more to switch out. Sugar glider toys can also be expensive. Also they need a wheel, and their wheels are about £40, so that is another quite large price tag on one small item, but a wheel is a necessity, and you do need to make sure that you're choosing the right wheel. They cannot have a bar in the middle because when they spin they will jump and it can hurt their back and give them pretty severe injuries, so you need to make sure that you're getting the right wheel. I recommend the Stealth wheel or the Freedom wheel. They are both amazing, and I use the Stealth wheel, but I've heard nothing but good things about the Freedom wheel. So then you still got all the price of the supplementation. For the diet, I use the SGS2 diet, and that, when you're first of all getting all the bits for it, can be quite costly, but then you're probably never going to need to get it all at once again, so it's like all their treats can add up too. I know I spend a lot of money on their treats. Then finally you still have their heat. If your house isn't warm enough, it needs to be above 21 Celsius at least. I use an oil radiator to keep it above the temperatures at night, but if you use a vivarium for them, then you can use a heat bulb. Another cost is all their bedding. Their bedding can get pricey. I have a lot of pouches, I have a lot of blankets for them. It does work out, but there are amazing sites to get their bedding from that I will link all down below too. After that you still have the price of an exotic vet. Now, finding a vet that deals with sugar gliders is hard by itself. Finding one that doesn't overcharge is harder. I used to work in a vet's. I know the prices that they could do stuff for and how much they mark it up by, which is ridiculous. So if you get a male, you're obviously going to want to neuter it unless you have looked into breeding for ages and you have an unrelated pair. But you'll most likely want to neuter. So I paid, I think it was £20, £25 I think, to get my male neutered by an exotic vet. But sometimes you will need to travel to get to an exotic vet, so you also need to be willing to pay the price to travel to a vet. So there is quite a lot of costs involved. So I put aside about £600, £700 when I was first of all getting the sugar gliders, and that covered me for getting them, for getting their cage, getting their toys, the neuter, everything that they need. The 600, 700, I can't remember what one, covered it all. The topic number 3 is time and space. So with sugar gliders, you must have more than one sugar glider. You can't just have one. They are social animals, so having just one is kind of cruel. They live in huge groups in the wild. So having more than one obviously adds more to the cost, adds more space because you need a cage to fit 2 sugar gliders in. You may want to get 2 wheels, so that's then £80. So, see what I'm saying? Then you need to be able to do bonding, and I recommend doing bonding through tent times. I basically put up a tent in my room, get me and the sugar gliders in there, and just let them jump all over me as if I was a tree, and that will make them like you. They do also live 15 to 20 years, so this is not a short-term commitment. I wouldn't recommend getting them for kids, not only because they're super fragile, but because of how long of a commitment it is. It isn't really a pet that you would get for a small child. Also, they can be sassy before they are bonded to you, so. Then you need the time for preparing their food and for cleaning. And I know cleaning can take quite a while. You have to take out all the wool, you need to soak it, you need to scrub it, taking out all their toys and doing that. You also want a schedule for cleaning. You don't want to do everything at once because then they will go scenting crazy. You want to do it sort of like, oh, blankets will be this week and like wool this week and then pouches this week sort of thing. With sugar gliders you also want to keep them away from other pets, especially cats. It can be extremely dangerous to put them near cats. My room is locked from the outside if I'm not in here, so no animals can get into this room to protect the sugar gliders and to protect all the other animals. So you need to think about if you can keep other animals in your house away from the sugar gliders. We have 4 cats and a dog downstairs, so there is other animals to keep out of this room. The next thing is they are nocturnal. So that means that they wake up at night. So if you are not a night person, if you have to sleep early, if you like sleeping early, they are not going to be right for you. So the normal sort of wake up time is anywhere from about 6 to 12 p.m. to 12 a.m. Most people say that theirs wake up between about 6 and 10, but my 2 wake up at 1:30 a.m. So I wake them up for tent time. I get them out and make them come and play at about 10:30, 11. Before they came to me, when they was babies living with their parents, they was waking up at about 6:30 p.m. so they can wake up at 10:30 and come and play with me. Also remember, they do make noises, they do bark when they're playing. Sometimes for attention, sometimes just because they like barking. Some of them do really love the sound of their own voice. They do make other noises too, but barking is going to be a major one if you're trying to sleep and you have them in your bedroom, because they are loud. When I'm downstairs and they are up playing, I can hear them from downstairs, so their barking is quite loud. Definitely take into consideration where you would put them in your house, going by how vocal they can be. The last one that I'm talking about, which is probably going to be one of the most important, is their nutrition. Now, sugar gliders require an excellent diet. Without a good diet, they can get extremely sick and they can get malnourished. Is that the word? Is that how you say the word? Don't know. So I use the SGS2 diet, which was created by Marie Bannister. There is an amazing group that you can join on Facebook if you are looking to get sugar gliders, which is called Sugar Gliders UK. It is also run by Marie Bannister. There are approved breeders on there, there are approved pages to get bedding from, which has been tested to make sure that it's not harmful, etc, etc. So I recommend joining that page if you're serious about looking into sugar gliders, because you can get amazing care guides on there. The SGS2, what I do for it is I basically blend up a protein mush and a non-protein mush. In the protein one I put in an egg and I mix the egg in with different vegetables and fruits, and then powders. For the powders you put in bee pollen, acacia gum, Wombaroo high protein supplement, spirulina, and linseed and oatmeal. Yeah. For the non-protein one I just use a different mix of fruit and veg, and then I just put on IAM's cat biscuits on top when it goes into their cage. And the non-protein one I usually do a little bit more fruitier and naughty. Yeah. So the monthly cost to feed them actually isn't that much. I think that I spend about £20 per month to feed them, which isn't really that much. To feed the rest of my room it's about £50 a week, so they're much cheaper. The price of all their supplements up front as well, as I said earlier, is a little bit pricey, but again, you're only going to be getting it bulk once, and then you're never going to run out of all of it at the same time. And it also depends on how big of bags you get. I will link where you can get it all from. You can get it from the Sugar Glider shop, which is Marie Bannister's website. Her prices are excellent, and she ships out really fast, and it comes really fast too. So, ow. I really need to like calm down with using this hand when it hurts so freaking bad. So that is my opinion on everything that I think that you should take into consideration before getting these amazing animals called Sugar Gliders. There probably is more, and I probably could have gone more into depth with some stuff, but there is these handy dandy little bars here telling you more information that I missed out too, because I'm not good at this. So nevertheless, I hope that you enjoyed this video, and I hope they at least helped you just a little bit. If you want to see any more videos including my Sugar Gliders, then please let me know, because I would absolutely love to get them in some more videos anyway. Please, if you like this video, then give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and leave any requests that you want to see. And until next time, goodbye!